What is going on, Bolt family? All right, so we do have some topics we need to talk about, and we'll get through this as we go. There's gonna be one topic that in particular that I know y'all not gonna like, and it has to do with Herbert because I think we have to open up the conversation a little bit. But we'll get to that, right? So in my last video, I said the Chiefs are gonna win 17-10. So although that score was correct, the one thing that I for sure did not anticipate, I thought that we were gonna be the ones having to fight our way to stay in the game to like make this competitive. That's not what this game was. You know what? You know why I think it disappointed so many Charger fans is because it felt like we all assumed that we were going to lose. I think because of all the injuries, the suspension of Derwin James, we were shorthanded. Our offensive line is completely wrecked, and I think all of us expected to lose this game. But I think what disappointed people is because there was a sense of what the Chargers used to be to happen in this game, where there was opportunities to win, and we didn't do it. And I think the thing that killed it was, like I said, I thought we were going to be the ones that had to keep clawing and fighting and hoping for things to go right in order for us to win, but it wasn't. It was the other way around. That we were on top of the Chiefs for the majority of the game. We started off 10-0. And we allowed them to go 17 unanswered points. After the first quarter, we did not score. And that to me is what just kind of, I think that's what like killed it for everybody. There were opportunities to score. There were opportunities to get first downs. There were just so many penalties. The penalties were just killing us. Every drive was getting destroyed by a damn penalty. And, you know, I think that's where like all the disappointment comes from, is because, like I said, it didn't feel like we were here to try to compete and take a game that we shouldn't have won. It felt like we gave a game away to the Chiefs. And that's the worst of it. It's not just any team. It's the Chiefs that have consistently done this to us. And I hate that they did it to us at home. And it was a great showing by the Charger crowd. I actually got a chance to go to the game, man. There was a lot of Charger fans there. So it's getting better and better. But to see the way our team competed and had every opportunity to win the game is what just killed me. Right? Let's just, first of all, hands down, I got nothing bad to say about the defense. My God. Jesse Minter, I hope we can keep you as long as we can, because you are going to get hired somewhere else. I wish that there was an opportunity that you would be the head coach after Jim Harbaugh decides to retire, because he is older, but I doubt you're going to wait that long. You shouldn't have to, because every time I see this defense play, it is no longer a fluke. Man, they are well coached. They are well disciplined. It's just a great scheme. I mean, what you are doing compared to what Brandon Staley had, this defense is locked in on an elite level, and they are competing every game, and they are the reason that we've kept up. I think the only weird thing now is that we were so used to the opposite, where it was just our offense carrying us the whole time and the defense kept letting us down. Now is the complete opposite. Our offense keeps letting us down and our defense is just playing their hearts out. So I don't want to hear nothing about the defense. The only thing that really pisses me off, if we can trade Bosa, I'm 100% in for it. And it's not the fact that he's hurt all the time that just irritated me. The fact that he's in the booth, he's like sitting down comfortably, in his little San Diego Charger sweater, instead of being on the sideline with his teammates, is what really pissed me off. I'm kind of over it at this point. Joey should get traded. If we can get anything in return for him, if you could send him to the Cleveland Browns for Amari Cooper, because we're about to talk about this, like as I'm making this video, there is all this talk about the Chiefs, and this is why they consistently are a good team, good organization. They just lost their top wide receiver, and all these sources now are linking them to Amari Cooper. Why are we not a part of that conversation? That is really bugging me. Like, again, we have an opportunity to get better. Why don't we? Amari Cooper is someone that is a tradable piece right now. The Browns are in shambles. He does not hurt their salary cap by much. I don't think he would cost us a ton of money or a ton of compensation. Why not go and compete with the Chiefs for that wide receiver? Because if he goes to the Chiefs, that is dangerous for us. And like I said, The Chiefs consistently look for a way to better their roster. Why aren't we? Because another thing we need to figure out is going to be this offensive line. You know what? I've heard a lot of people being like, you know what? The Chiefs are out. Our days are numbered because we competed like crazy today. But here's the problem. People are like, yeah, the bye week came at the perfect time. Again, there's a problem. It took us 4 weeks to get decimated in injuries. From here on out, we have 13 straight weeks. Is everybody going to stay healthy if all it took was 4 weeks for us to get completely decimated by injuries? We have a history of being hurt. So people go on like, yeah, this was a perfect time. Yeah, sure, I guess. But now you understand that we have to go 13 straight weeks. And do you think all these guys are going to stay completely healthy for 13 straight weeks? If all it took was 4 weeks for them to all get hurt? Yeah, I'm not following that logic. Right? Yes, we play the Chiefs in December. We're going to play them in cold weather in Arrowhead. Not only are we going to play them in cold weather, like I said, are we going to be healthy? We have no depth. The offensive line had to scramble, move players out of different positions to get them there. Guys that I've never heard of are out there competing for us. Okay, but look, we'll kind of like try to settle back and get back to where we started. But like I said, I think if we could trade Bosa for anything at this point, whether it's offensive line depth, whether it's draft capital at this point, and another wide receiver, man, I'm 100% down for that. Look, man, I get that he is an elite talent. He looked like he was going to have a great year. I was excited for him, but that just irritates me. If you can't go out and like compete, at least be on the sideline with your teammates, pumping up. Go out there and talk to Thule, Bud Dupree, like be out there giving them pointers, pumping them up, and you're on the booth just chilling. I really don't like that. I just don't think you're a team player at this point. I'm tired of you constantly being sidelined. I am 100% down to trade you. I don't care that you took a pay cut. Get the hell out of here. I'm over it. That to me just irritates me, and it's not the first time he's done this. So if we could trade Bosa, by all means, Ortiz. We have a chance to improve the roster during the bye week so they can learn the playbook, get them the hell out. Okay, now that is the only negative I have for the defense. Outside of that defense, great job. Fulton, incredible interception. But, dude, next time don't try to do too much because that you got lucky on that fumble. But outside of that, okay, back to the offense. Look, okay, so this is where the conversation is going to be where I don't think people are going to enjoy what I have to say. And I have been seeing a lot of Twitter posts that is talking about how Herbert played his heart out, how the O-line let him down, Greg Roman, etc., etc., etc. I agree with a lot of those, right? The offensive line did not give him a lot of time. The offensive line kept penalizing us and put us in positions to go backwards. Because right now, it doesn't look like we're a team that can get first down from 2nd and 15. There were times where we were starting like 1st and 20, 2nd and 25. It was insane. So we don't look built for that. But this is a huge but. I think great quarterbacks overcome deficiencies. And one thing that I've consistently criticized Herbert on is I feel like he does not manage the game well. Whereas in Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Mahomes, they could struggle an entire game. But when it matters, they kind of handle the game the way it needs to happen. Mahomes was getting shut down the entire game, but he made that one big play, and then when the Chiefs needed him the most at the end, the Chiefs were moving the ball on us. He didn't do nothing spectacular outside of that one huge throw, but he did enough to win the game. The defense kept putting Herbert in an opportunity to win the game and couldn't do it. And I don't want to hear that it was always the offensive line. There were times where he had time to throw and he made the wrong read. There was a few times where people are even criticizing QJ. QJ was getting shut down. Yeah, he could have played better. But there were times where Herbert went to QJ when Palmer was wide open. Wide open. and they were almost next to each other. So to see him try to force the ball to QJ, I don't know whether he just kind of tossed it up or he just didn't read the play well, or if he didn't see Palmer. But there was a few instances where there were players open and Herbert didn't find them, or he just didn't pull the trigger. I get that he's hurt, but look, man, I'm sorry to say it. This seems to now be more of a common theme for Herbert than anything else. I think he's been more hurt at this point than he's been healthy. So I can't continue to make this argument. At this point, if you are healthy enough to play, I'm going to critique you as if you were healthy. It's just part of the NFL. You had the choice to not play. You chose to play. Well, that's what it is, man. I can't keep going, well, you have a rib injury. Your finger. Now your ankle. Like, look, at this point, you are more hurt than you are healthy. I have to judge you accordingly. And there were opportunities for you to make plays and you didn't. And I know people aren't going to like this, but this is the reason why we have to do it, right? So there's this whole argument with Tua Tagovailoa and Justin Herbert, right? I'm not going to lie. I've never been the biggest Tua fan, but you know what made me hate Tua? And I don't want to say hate. That's a strong word. What made me dislike Tua? It wasn't Tua himself, because I think Tua is a great dude. I don't think he's better than Herbert by any means. I think they made the wrong choice. But what made a lot of people dislike Tua were the Tuanons, because people were so adamant of defending him, even when he was not the reason they won or the reason they lost. They defended him no matter what, and it was always coming back to he's better than Herbert, whatever, right? And I don't want to be that delusional fan when it comes to our team, because I love my team. I believe Herbert is a top 3 quarterback. Well, I believe he could be a top 3 quarterback. I think he has that potential. That throw that he made to Ladd McConkey, incredible. There's maybe 3 dudes in the NFL that can make that throw. Here's the problem. We have seen Herbert make spectacular throws, make spectacular plays, but I feel like he does not control the game. And people will be like, well, he doesn't have weapons. The problem with this is I saw this now basically throughout his career when he had Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and all the other weapons, where it just feels like they're going to have one great drive or a drive where he's making incredible plays, and then after it's just 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. That to me is a common theme in Herbert. At some point, I don't even care if you're moving points. You got to get this defense some rest. Get first down. I see him check down far too often, or sometimes far too quick. That could be because of the O-line and the pressure he was feeling, but there were times where he could made a better read. The one play where it could have been a pick 6, I don't know what the hell that was. Whether it was QJ or not, my problem was, even if it was a bubble screen and QJ messed up, for Herbert to throw that in that situation, it was going to be bad either way. If QJ didn't make that move, that was probably going to be a pick 6. So I don't understand it. People are blaming QJ more for that. I think he got lucky that QJ made that move. If not, it would have been a for sure pick 6, because there was no way that little bubble wide receiver screen was going to work in that situation. That dude was basically on press coverage at that point. So I don't know what the hell Herbert saw in that situation. There was I think another play where he almost threw an unnecessary pick, but he got lucky that the defender just dropped the ball. Look, at this point, I still believe in Herbert, but I think it's fair to criticize him now. People are now talking about the anger he felt and frustration. I hope that anger wasn't just towards his teammates. That anger should be on him as well. He should be pissed off at himself, because you know what? That defense did more than enough for you to win this game. That defense did more than enough to put you in an opportunity to make plays. That defense played, when people say Herbert played their hearts out, no. That defense played their hearts out. They deserved a win today for how they played. They deserve all the credit. Herbert, I'm not going to do this, and I hate it, and I hate to say this. You are the highest paid player on this team. Just like if Josh Allen loses, if Lamar loses, if Mahomes loses, well, maybe not Mahomes as much, I guess, but because I feel like they never blame him. But if those teams like the Bills, the Ravens lose, who do they always blame? They blame the quarterbacks. Herbert, you are the best player on this team. You are the highest paid player on this team. You're the most important person on this team. I am not going to be delusional. I am blaming you for the loss. I think great quarterbacks find a way to win. And that doesn't mean, and I know people are going to get mad at this, but it doesn't mean that I don't believe in you. It's just, we got to make some improvements here. The great quarterbacks do it. Are you a top 5 quarterback or are you not? And I need to see that difference. I get that this isn't going to be popular, and I know people are going to be mad, but I think it's fair to criticize him now. People now are talking about Greg Roman. I'm not going through this OC carousel. I can't even say the word now, man. This carousel of blaming another offensive coordinator. Through Herbert's college career, he had multiple offensive coordinators, multiple head coaches. He has now done that in the NFL. This will be his 4th offensive coordinator in the NFL. I'm not blaming another one. I never thought Greg Roman was the best hire for this situation or for him, but it is what it is. He's there. Like I said, I think elite quarterbacks will figure this out and they will find a way to be successful. But I'm not blaming another offensive coordinator. So I get it. Greg Roman could have called a better game plan. He could have stopped running the ball down the middle, which we're going to talk about Gus Edwards in a minute. But like I said, I'm just not doing it again. At this point, is like, Herbert, can you overcome the deficiencies of this team, this organization? Can you be that savior like Tom Brady was to the Patriots, like Peyton Manning was to the Colts? Like Mahomes is going to be, Mahomes was like Alex Smith too, but like I'm saying is these guys eventually were difference makers. You have the head coach now. Can you turn this around? And I know people are going to take this the wrong way and go like, you know what? Well, why do you hate on Herbert? It's not that. At some point, look, he is the best player. He is the highest paid. He is the most important piece. He needs to be criticized as such. Just like Josh Allen will get blamed for a loss. Lamar will get blamed for a loss. Mahomes will get blamed for a loss. That's the way we got to treat him at this point. There's no, hey, you're not in your first, second year anymore. We're all living on the Herbert highlights from his first season. It's time to progress now. I get the offensive line is bad. Look, Burrow took one of the worst offensive lines to a Super Bowl. Yes, he had Jamar Chase, but I mean, to get to a Super Bowl is still pretty elite. To be the most sacked quarterback, to get to a Super Bowl, that's an incredible feat. Look, like I said, don't hate me for it, but it's just I have to get that off my chest. We have to start monitoring this. If I could learn to speak, and we have to start asking questions. Stop defending him like completely delusionally. We're not going to be like that, like the Tuanon fans. I'm not going to be that. If you love your football team, it is 100% okay to criticize them and the players. So, you know, that's just something I want to get off my chest. Because, like, again, I still don't believe Acho. I still think Herbert can be a great quarterback. But it's time to start asking some questions. I do think off the bye week that we're going to come off better and we are going to make better plays. And we're going to be better offensively because our offense needs to figure it out, man. They're way too stagnant. This defense is playing too hard for us to not be better than what we are. But look, I expected us to be 2-2 at the bye. I do think we pull off a win streak and we're going to come out and we're going to be better. But we'll talk about that during the bye week. I think another thing I wanted to talk about, yes, Jim Harbaugh, everybody's talking about it. He got outcoached by Andy Reid. I'm okay with it. He hasn't been in the NFL for 10 years. There was the challenge he made and the one he didn't make that all were question marks. I do have some leeway for Jim Harbaugh at this point just because it is his first year back. It's going to be an adjustment period, but I think what he's done to this point, I am very happy with it. I mean, I can't imagine how much better this team can become with more time under Harbaugh, more time with another draft, free agency. So I'm still optimistic. I know people are like basically upset with him right now, but it's fine. Like, this is something there's still a lot to learn from it. And like I said, knowing that we competed with the Chiefs the way we did, being as banged up as we were, is a positive. Us healthy, this could have been a whole different story. And this still doesn't give me Staley vibes. Like, the team showed a lot of positive. It's just the offense has been abysmal, and that's something we need to figure out. Dicker the kicker missed the field goal. I hope that does not become a trend because I don't want to go back into that situation where we're missing field goals again. But again, I'm going to leave that out. I think the only other thing that I can think about from that game that I hope we need to start changing is when are we putting Vidal in there? Because I don't want to see Gus Edwards in there anymore. The only time I want to see Gus Edwards in there now is going to be for goal line situations, which he probably should have got that ball in that 4th down situation that we tried to convert on. I was 100% down to go for it. At that point, you could just tell that we've lost all momentum. We needed that. There was no other option for us at that point. I would have been down to go. I'm 100% okay that he went for it. We needed momentum. You saw momentum leave that football field when we could not score. We literally scored in the first quarter and we didn't score since. So, yeah, that is brutal. But, look, man, that's just my thoughts. I know a lot of you will disagree with me. A lot of things we need to figure out, right? I think time to put Vidal in there for Gus Edwards. It's time to figure out this offense. We have a whole 2 weeks to figure out how we're going to handle this. Our schedule gets easier. The only thing is, offensively, they need to be ready because we're coming out and we're going to play the Broncos, who have been incredible defensively, especially through the air. So can we figure out how to beat them? Can the offense figure out how to move the ball on them? After that, I do believe we have a good break, and we have some weaker teams on our schedule outside of the Saints for like the next 4 or 5 weeks, and we could put ourselves in a good position to win. This still could be an 11-12 win team, but Herbert needs to make sure he responds well. Okay, I hope that ankle comes back well, but like I said, I don't want to hear the injury situation anymore. I don't. Look, man, he's always hurt at this point, so I'm going to criticize you as such. If you are healthy enough to play, I'm going to criticize you just like I would if you were not 100% healthy. But look, I still believe he's a top 3 quarterback, potentially. But he's got to figure some things out. He's got to manage the game better. He's got to be able to get this defense some breaks. He's got to be able to carry drives longer. It can't be one good drive and then 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. And I get it. Greg Roman isn't the offensive coordinator we all hoped for. But what we got, and if he is an elite QB the way we all believe he can be, he will overcome this. So it's time to figure it out. I believe in Jim Harbaugh. I believe he will make Herbert better. I believe this team is going to come out and they are going to perform better. I am impressed by how they played, against the Chiefs, being as outmanned as they were. But I think what disappoints all of us is just because we felt like we gave this game away. We had them beat. They did not play well. Our defense was just lights out, and I think that hurt me to my soul. It just brought up a lot of old feelings. But I do see the light at the end of the tunnel. Charger fans, don't hate me. It's just, look, man, it's just time to ask some questions, and that's okay. But like I said, these are my thoughts. This is the line of scrimmage for the Chargers. So, look, if you have a different point of view, by all means, make it. I know a lot of it's going to come to the offensive line. I get that. But feel free to ask. Feel free to debate me. Feel free to be on the other side of this conversation because maybe I'm saying things the wrong way. But I just think at this point, it being his 5th year, it's time for me to start asking some questions. And that's where we're at. Anyway, Charger family, I hope you get some good time to rest up. No stress for a week. Which focus on your fantasy teams. We'll come back. We'll talk in a week. And we'll get ready for the Broncos. Anyways, for the moment, peace.